Hi lovelies, how are you doing? It's good to have you here once again. My last video was on verbal abuse and I had a lot of reactions, a lot of messages, a lot of emails telling me their experiences. So for sure, I know verbal abuse is very terrible and that is why I made a video about it. And I'm happy that you're able to speak up about these things. So if you are yet to watch that video, I advise you to go and watch it and also share your experiences with me. You can send me a mail, you can drop a comment, whichever one you're comfortable with. I would really appreciate. So for today, we want to talk about setting boundaries in relationships. A lot of people talk about boundaries, but do you really know what it means to set boundaries in relationship? And do you even know how to set boundaries in your relationship? So relationships these days are they're very dicey. People tend to lose their individuality. People tend to lose their self, their agency, simply because they're in a relationship. So they don't set boundaries, they just go with the flow. Like I always say, when two people come together, these two people did not grow up together. A lot of them did not grow up together. They have different experiences. They come from different backgrounds, different families, different experiences, this different childhood experiences, different schools, sometimes different states or country. So orientation is going to be different. What one person likes might be different from what the other person likes. So that is why boundaries must be set in the relationship. And while you're setting your own boundary, you must be ready to respect your partner's boundary. So before we go ahead, let us define boundaries. What are boundaries? So these are, let's say you see a property and then there's a tape in front of the property and a post that says do not cross. It's that property, that post just goes to tell you that this is a limit you shouldn't go, you shouldn't cross to the other side. If not, you are trespassing, right? So that is essentially what boundaries are, even in relationships. These are limits that you set for yourself to protect your well-being in your relationship. I also want you to know that there are healthy and unhealthy boundaries. Unhealthy boundaries are boundaries that are set to control your partner, to control the other individual. While healthy boundaries, as I explained earlier, is to protect your well-being. So let's say, for example, somebody tells you, please, I need my space so that I can be hanging out with my friends from time to time. That is very healthy. This person wants some time to himself. That's a healthy boundary. But for unhealthy boundary, person says, please, I want you to stop seeing your friends because if you continue seeing them, you're going to cheat on me. That person is trying to stop you from doing the things you love to do. That person is controlling. So that is an unhealthy boundary. You need to know the difference so that when you're in a relationship and somebody starts setting unrealistic boundaries that are also crossing your own boundary, then there's a problem. So let's see different types of boundaries that you can set in a relationship. First of all, physical boundaries. So physical boundaries refers to your body, your privacy, your personal space. So for example, you're the type that you don't like PDA. You know what PDA is? That is public display of affection. That is people that display affection in the public. So imagine you're not the type that likes this and your partner enjoys PDA and you don't like it. So what do? You see that there's a need for you to communicate this to your partner. You have to tell your partner, I don't like displaying my affection publicly. I prefer to do it privately. I prefer to do it in closed doors. For you to set boundaries, you need to communicate. You can't just keep quiet and expect your partner to know that you don't like this thing that he's doing. Communication is very important. In fact, that is the only way for you to set boundaries. We also have emotional boundaries. Now, for you to be able to set emotional boundaries, you need to be in touch with your feelings. You need to know when you feel upset, when you feel ashamed, when you feel undervalued. So when a situation comes up and you have all these negative feelings, boundaries have to be set. For example, when you're upset, you don't want him coming to you. There are people that whenever they are crying, by the time you come and say, oh, stop crying, they will not cry anymore. So there are people like that, they want their personal space when they are feeling that way. So if you're feeling that way, your partner comes to cheer you up, it's in a very respectful manner. Tell him, honey, please, or whatever you call him, please, I want to be left alone now. So that is a way for you to relay your emotional boundaries to your partner. We also have intellectual boundaries. Today there are a lot of controversial topics, and sometimes you and your partner might not agree. And then imagine that when you're giving your own views, or making your own views, or letting your partner know what to think about a particular situation, be it politics, be it gender topics or whatever, and your partner tries to put you down, or try to make you feel like you don't know what you're saying, tries to treat you like you're not smart enough, it is very important for you to set a boundary there. Tell your partner how you feel. Tell your partner that you don't like that he's making you feel that you're not smart. You don't like the way he talked to you when you were giving this view. And then, if possible, both of you can decide not to discuss that particular view or that particular matter, since it's always bringing negative reactions. So that is an example of setting intellectual boundaries. We also have sexual boundaries, those things that your partner does that reminds you of a bad experience. There are people that have experienced trauma such as rape or sexual molestation or whatever, and then when your partner does some of these sexual acts, it reminds you of your bad experience. It's important that you relay that to your partner, communicate it to him and tell him, well, I don't like this thing you're doing, please can we do something else, instead of you to just keep quiet and continue feeling bad and maybe try to get used to it, because something you will never get used to. It's better for you to communicate with your partner. So you need to set sexual boundaries too. And then we have financial boundaries. How do you want to spend your money in the relationship? What are your financial plans? Some people are heavy spenders, and the other partner might be the type that likes to save. So you need to set boundaries. If you're the type that likes to save, you need to tell your partner, okay, let us set a target. How much percentage are you going to be bringing in? Are we going to do joint account? Are we going to do separate account? You need to set such boundaries, financial boundaries, so that if you don't set these boundaries, your relationship is going to be having a lot of problems, because your partner is always going to do things or do the things that you don't like, because you have not set those boundaries clearly. So it's important for you to set financial boundaries in your relationship. We also have time boundaries. There are people that are always so clingy. 24/7 they want to be with their partners. 24/7 they want to spend time with their partners. And this part, it's not like they don't love you, but sometimes they want space for themselves. So it is important for you to set time boundaries. How much time are we going to be spending together? How much time are you going to spend with me when you come to see me? How much time are we going to be spending apart? It's important for you to set these boundaries. As I said earlier, if you don't set these boundaries, problems will always come up. And I want you to know too that while you're setting boundaries, be ready to respect your partner's boundaries. So it's not going to be a one-way thing. As you set your boundaries and you expect your partner to respect your boundaries, also respect your partner's boundaries. Boundaries are very important in relationship, so you both don't lose your individuality. Remember that you saw this person as an individual, you liked her as she was then, and then when she comes into the relationship, you just want to change her. You want her to be a different person. You don't respect her boundaries because you want her to just accept whatever you throw to her, and that will start causing problems in your relationship. So for a strong relationship, these boundaries must be set. So we need to understand that boundaries can change, people can evolve. So when this happens, what you do, you have to communicate the boundary change to your partner. You don't just expect your partner to know that you no longer like this thing. That's why it's always very important for you to communicate and do it in a respectful manner, not that you just take your partner unawares. This is something you like doing, and then all of a sudden you don't like it again, and then your partner doesn't know and crosses your new line, and then it becomes a problem. You are at fault. You did not communicate effectively with your partner. So communication is very, very important at this stage. So guys, I hope you understand what it means to set boundaries. I hope you understand what boundaries are, the different boundaries that you should set in your relationship, so that your relationship can be healthy and strong. And also remember, this is just a generic topic. You on your own, there are boundaries specific to you, so you need to communicate with your partner. I might not be able to know your boundary to state in this video, but then you know what I'm talking about. That thing that you don't like, that thing that irks you, that thing that tries to change you from who you are, that tries to take away your individuality. Those are the things that you need to communicate to your partner, so that your partner will stop doing them, and then your relationship can be strong and healthy. So thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed, you know what to do. Tap on your subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. Lastly, I want to read from you, so let me get all your comments in the comment box. Thank you very much once again. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.